We're already a few weeks into the season. A lot of people are scrambling to the waiver wire, trying to get their lineups together, trying to get the back end of their roster together because of injuries, because of depth chart changes, because of guys getting released. Things are happening right now at a fast pace, and we have to react to them at an even quicker pace for our fantasy teams to stay relevant throughout the year. And this is another one of those times. And there's a running back right now on waivers that a lot of people have questions about, that they're looking at, because he might be in a situation this week that could help some people out. But we need to be looking at Tony Jones here for the New Orleans Saints, because he might be stumbling into a short-term opportunity to help some people out. And we're going to look at the stats and the data right here. But before you do, you need to click that subscribe button right now. Stop missing out on these deep dives on these players, these lesser-known players on the waiver wire who are sitting on back ends of rosters in your league, who might get some opportunity here and there that you need to know about them. You need to know their usage. You need to know whether or not they got a chance. We're going to help you win the waiver wire. We're going to help you set them lineups. We're going to help you win your league. But let's look at Tony Jones and company here. And the reason why is Jamaal Williams is expected to need some time to recover from his hamstring injury. He's going to be out some games. He's going to be out for a bit. Alvin Kamara should be coming back. This team's going to be turning and burning at running back a little bit. Some guys in, some guys out. That's what it's going to be looking like. With Jamaal Williams being out, it's going to impact this team for a good bit as well. So this is going to be interesting to see what this team does. Off the rip, just thinking about it, I think you can guess what they're going to do with him out of the lineup, Kamara still being out. They're going to throw the ball a lot more. They're going to push it downfield. They still need to run it. They still need to use their running backs. They're still going to be on the field, but they're probably going to lean more on Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas, and everybody else in the passing game. They're probably just going to sling the rock around a little bit more. Still use the running backs, of course. That's still part of the game, but that's really what everything's aligning to. Looking at Tony Jones, though, he had 12 rushing attempts last week, 34 yards and 2 touchdowns, scored 15 fantasy points, but most of that is due to the 2 touchdowns. So off the rip, what you're seeing from Tony Jones is a running back. If he's getting touches, you're hoping he crosses the goal line. You're hoping for that gamble. With that being said, we look at his career here. 142 yards in 2021, 218 on his career. Not the most productive running back. Just a guy floating around the league, getting some opportunity here and there. And we see this from time to time with some of these running backs. We see a profile like this, and next thing you know, they pop up. Maybe they get their moment of opportunity, and then we see what happens. Going back to his draft profile, came out in 2020, went undrafted, 5'11", 220 pounds, though. That means he's got the size to carry the rock between the tackles. His athletic profile, though, leaves you with more to be desired. Of course it does. He fell out of the draft, one of those running backs who are just there. He does have enough athleticism to compete at the NFL level, but really not enough to get you excited, enough to turn heads for fantasy or even on the field. And we're looking at Kendre Miller, because things are huge with him. Should be back in a full go practice this week. That's what they're saying on the right panel right there for the injury news. You need to pay attention to Kendre Miller. You need to be paying attention to that, because if he's back and he's on the field and he's getting touches, this could be his big moment. This could be his opportunity. He's very explosive, good size, adjusted athleticism. He could be a breath of fresh air in this offense. He is a stash play for the long term. If he's on your waiver wire and you're looking for a running back to stash, he might be your guy, because he has the possibility of going off anytime during the season. He has good size, adjusted athleticism, 3rd round pick, day 2 draft capital, a guy that could go off anytime during the season. He's a firecracker that when he gets ignited, it's going to eventually happen, because he's got that size, just athleticism. His team pushes the pace. We got Alvin Kamara there who's going to take touches. We have Jamaal Williams. But we're seeing some ins and outs with these running backs right now. Kendre Miller's part of that, because he's been out. Hasn't even played yet because of injury. But he's a full go, or supposed to be a full go. Should be a full go. Monitor him, because we definitely like Kendre Miller better. We definitely need to be looking at him, if not stashing him right now. Should have been drafted really as a stash. And if you're not down with stashing players like this, then don't even worry about it, because you're just going to drop them to somebody else and waste your roster spot. But he's a long-term play. That's a gamble. That's a lottery ticket that could go boom on you somewhere down the line this season, maybe even next year. We've seen players like this that I've talked about not do it in their rookie year, year 2 year, whatever, and then the following season go off. We saw that with Kendre Williams. So, again, he should be on your radar at least. Looking at this matchup, though, with the Packers, because this could be a one-game thing here for Jones, looks like there could be an opportunity for them to be able to run the ball a little bit. They gave up 211 rushing yards to the Falcons last week, 122 to the Bears, but that was a weird game script. Bears are always in weird game scripts. Well, it's been 2 games, but last year they were all weird game scripts as well. 42 over-under. They're not expecting much scoring. They're expecting the Packers to slow down the pace because the Saints want to throw the ball all over the yard. They want the air yards. They can do that. They got the wide receivers to do it with Chris Olave and company. That's something they want to do. Plus, they don't have the running backs right now, so they're wanting to make an impact with that. Expect this to be a weird game script. Expect us to push the over on this one, as this game script could break, as there's some weird anomalies right now with the injuries on the offensive side with the Saints. That could allow them to push the pace even more due to them not having a clear-cut running back right now that they want to lean on. So might as well just throw it to Olave a bunch of times, Michael Thomas and company, see what happens there. So really expect this game to break on us. It could break either way, though. It could get ugly, it could get nasty, but it could also be a high-scoring affair. I look for this one to be a weird one. That's all I can say. That's all I can really give you a take on. I look for this game to be weird because the Saints are on the road. The Packers are really transitioning still from Rodgers. They've been weird in their game scripts and their matchups. This could be another weird one. It could break wide open, be high scoring. It could be an ugly one. I see either way. Probably not likely going to be middle of the road, like a 20 to 25 point matchup. It's probably going to be a fun one or a nasty one. That being said, this running back core has an opportunity, but again, I think they're going to want to lean on the pass. And looking at where Tony Jones is being ranked right now, RB 40 in the rankings per 4 for 4. This gives you a good indication whether or not you need him, because he's being ranked as like an RB4, RB5 in fantasy, and they're pretty conservative as well. Matt Breida, Craig Reynolds, Chuba Hubbard, Gary Brightwell's in that area, along with Ezekiel Elliott. Really, honestly, you don't really need him. If anything, I'm looking at Kendre Miller really hard right now. I'm watching Kendre Miller, and you need Tony Jones. Just because you need touches, you're hurting. And that's the only reason why. You're hurting, you need touches. Because more than likely, you got a few better running backs on your roster. More than likely, you've been hit with the injury bug, you still got some better running backs. More than likely. You need touches to gamble on, though. This is one you could do that with. Do you want to? Probably not. But that's a running back you can do that with. And Kendre might be in the lineup this week, which could really impact things. We've got to see what the workload's like. I don't want to gamble right now on that, but this could be a scenario where they just give the rookie some time to shine, to see what he's up to, because he does have some size and just athleticism, and you don't need him because you don't need these touches. These are gamble touches. You're seeing a running back get a few touches here, and you're just hoping he crosses the goal line, maybe break off a run or two. You're just hoping. You'd rather have Kendre Miller. I'd rather have Kendre Miller. I'd rather have Kendre Miller for the long term. If you're looking for just one game, it's a gamble. This whole thing's a gamble. But for the long term, I'd rather have Kendre Miller. I already did the video on him, getting Kendre Miller before the season started. I'd rather have Kendre Miller because the upside's grand, the portfolio's good, and over the long term, he's going to get his opportunity. Somewhere down the line, whether it's this year, next year, middle of this season, late this season, this game, his opportunity's coming to prove himself. And you want that stash just in case it runs good, because there's good chance that it does, because he pops off the step, he's explosive, he's young. The players who break out are usually your younger players, usually in year 1, year 2 range. Sometimes down the line when they're switching teams, when they come off that rookie contract, Kendre Miller could be that guy. We got Kamara there, but really this offense moves the ball so well, and they push it so quick that 2 running backs could eat or be off and on. And plus, Kendre Miller's the young guy. Could be a transition to him. These running backs are in and out. We've seen so many running back injuries. Not trying to predict anything like that. But again, attrition's there. And he's a dark horse. a handcuff, a guy to stash that has a lot of upside. So honestly, my take here is I love Kendre Miller. I'm stashing him no matter what if I can fit him. Jones, only if you're hurting really, really, really bad. More than likely, you shouldn't be that bad right now. If so, you probably have some worse problems that you need to deal with your fantasy team. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.